is going on with the Warning friends, my Patreon friends, my YouTube friends? What's going on? Everyone in the cave. Man, I got lots of intros. I got lots of people to remember to say hi to. Happy holidays, my friends. I'm just getting back into the reaction swing of things after the holidays. I think I got food poisoning, or I just ate too much. Let's be real. Let's be real. My friend, I wanted to give you a shout out and I didn't know what your account was. It says the channel's called Reaction Channels. I'm assuming it's just an account that you just follow reaction channels on. But you asked, or you sent me a list of videos of the members of the Warning going through their equipment. So I've been working on my studio. I've been coming up with some plans for 2023. I've been making some changes. Hope you all like the lighting and the camera setup. And I thought I would go through some equipment breakdown and stay in the mood for being a little bit nerdy. So since we're doing a tech breakdown, I have a sponsor for today's video and then we'll get right to it. This video is brought to you by Newer Professional Lighting and Photography Equipment. Newer sent me a 100-watt LED video light. It sits at 5600K. It's a Bowens mount continuous lighting system with a stand, softbox, and remote. And this thing has been my favorite upgrade to my studio over the last little while. And I'm just not just blowing smoke, man. I did a whole video on it. I'll tag it up here. It's shaved off a bunch of my editing time, as well as it's made my videos look nice and crispy and a lot more consistent, because with the light and the size of it and how good it works with my camera, it doesn't matter if it's daytime or nighttime or whatever. My outside lights don't seem to bother it. None of my other lights in my studio seem to bother it. So for my room, in my 10x12 room, this light has been fantastic. So Newer, thank you so much for the light. Check them out. I've got the link in the description box. My friends, let's get back to the video. My friends, I got a 20% discount in the description box. Check them out. The link's down there as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Give me the thumbs up. Check me out on Patreon. Send me your links. Check out the Warning on Patreon too. I got them in the description box. Description box real full. Description box is real full these days. Okay, let me pull this up and let's do this, my friends.
What's up? Happy Dani Day, everyone. Today...
Happy Dani Day, okay.
What's up? Happy Dani Day, everyone. Today is gonna be very interesting because I will talk about what I like to use in my equipment and everyday life. So we're talking shop. Yeah.
Picks? Cool. That looks like a bass pick. Wow. Wow. I'm gonna be a little fidgety just because I'm in my studio and we're nerding out. $3mm, yeah, that's real thick.
Because it sounds awesome, okay? Yes, it gives the guitar a much more fuller tone, and I'm such a fan of that, so that's why. It
does. I'm looking to see, like, this is an acoustic pick. That's probably about 3mm. I think that's a bass pick she's holding. This is another acoustic pick. This one's wood. This one's made out of rosewood. That one's like not even 3mm. The picks I play are 1.14. Half of what she plays. Jesus Christ, really? Wow. Good for her, man. Oh, this one might be a 3mm. This one might be a 3mm. Nope. Look at that. I don't even think I have one. I'm not gonna keep looking.
It's so thick. And also, it has this little space where I can put my thumb more comfortably, and I get a far better grip, and it's not falling off of my fingers all the time.
Oh, interesting.
Well, at least less.
Yeah, those are common. Like, you get them. I'm not going to keep looking at my pics. You get them where this one has the thing in it. It has, like, the thumb spot or the finger spot, and that's just so it, like, sits comfortably and it's not going to, like, wiggle around in your finger. That's why I went to triangle picks. So if I hit, like, a pickup or if I'm, like, playing really hard and it spins, I just have another tip to play. And if I go to finger picking, which I don't do too often, but I can hold it. But it's just a grip thing, right? So she's playing a thick pick, though, man. I can't get over that. The thumb thing is cool. The thumb thing is cool that she finds that useful, because like it's hit or miss. You hear people either love it or people don't notice it, it seems. I don't know if anyone really hates it. But anyway.
But it's awesome. I really, 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 really love this pick, and I really recommend it. But at the end of the day, it's what each and every one of us feels comfortable using. But this one is mine.
It's a bass pick. That's a bass pick. Pretty. Yep. Beautiful. What she got? Oh, she's got 3 here. So, okay, so she'll probably break this down and tell you why, but typically you travel with at least 2. You have tubes in here. Like, y'all remember the old tube TVs? And like, if one of those goes down mid-show, man, like, you have nothing but noise. So then you just pop the input cable into the next head, and then you keep going, right? So it doesn't happen too often, but it does happen. But I'm sure we're about to find out.
Okay, so fun facts.
I have tubes somewhere too, but
Rocker Burv 100 MK3 has been with me for a very, very long time, and it's my go-to sound when I rehearse. And this Custom Shop 50 is the one, it's the model which we recorded all, and I say all, of Queen of the Murder Scene. This big guy is responsible for the sound of my guitars in that.
Cool, very cool. So let's just, I was trying to get a better look. So the 100 watt for being a rehearsal amp makes sense because you got to get on top of Pow's drumming, and she likes beat shit out of those drums. So it's 100 watt versus 50 watt. It's just like how loud do you need to be, right? I believe they're both 8 ohm outputs, which doesn't really matter. The cabinet's a 412 for anyone keeping track. There's 12-inch speakers in there instead of 10-inch speakers like in a Marshall or in a lot of the like Mesa Boogie cabs and stuff like that. Orange is just special, man. The 50 for her guitar tone for the record makes sense. Because, and bear with me on this, I'll try not to go too far into it. There's other channels that'll do a better job at it. But you need an isolation cabinet so that you can turn the guitar amp up loud enough, right? So the guitar amp, because it has tubes and because it has pre's that sound a certain way and everything, you need to send it a certain amount of electricity to get the tone that you want. And that might be really, really, really loud, especially if you have 100 watts, right? That might be great for competing with a drum kit. But if you're trying to do like something isolated in like your basement, or I don't remember when they recorded that one, if it was a COVID thing or if they had studio space for it. But nonetheless, like you're better off to have a quieter amp that you can turn all the way up. I used to have a 15 watt and I would literally have it an orange, and I would have everything on 10, every single knob, gain, presence, treble, bass, output, everything, right? And the reason was because I liked how it sounded. It broke up differently. It broke up. It sounded special. It was the way that I wanted it to be. So having a 50 watt that she can have for the tone that she wants, she can have it loud. She can have the cabinet in another room in an isolation box, and it's still like it's half the wattage, right? So that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. I bet you she got it pinned. The Custom Shop could be for the size. They might make it in a match size to the 100 watt. It could be like hot plated where basically it just like has more gain. So again, you're just trying to get more out of the amp. It's like turning it up before it actually hits the amp. There's a couple things that they could have done for that, but anyway.
Big guy is responsible for the sound of my guitars in that of a punch, and I can always bring my orange sound with me. So
Orange did a really good job of this is a pedal baby. So this is probably, it might have 2 preamps, but it's probably a solid state. But it probably just sounds exactly like an orange. Like it probably emulates or has, like I said, orange qualities, tendencies, right? But then it's travel size, right? You can go to a quick tour, quick festival on the weekend, like couple flight dates, like a 1 in, 1 out type thing, right? So who wants to carry this thing around for that?
amazing album.
I like how it's bass and treble written on there like that.
Super cute and awesome orange Pedal Baby 100 is what I take with me for the live shows, and I know it looks tiny, but trust me, it packs one hell. Hello, I am back, and we cannot have a session where I explain my setup without talking about my beautiful guitar.
Very cool.
Okay, so my guitar is made by the one and only Rick Toon. Here, you can read it.
Very cool.
He is extremely awesome, and I'm so fortunate to have caught his eye, and also to have not only one, but 2 of his precious guitar. Look at that! Oh
wow.
My god, they're so
looks
beautiful.
like something Prince would play. Solid body, and as you can see, a very awesome, unique, and thin aluminum neck. Interesting. Aluminum neck, eh? So it's solid body, so it's one piece. Sometimes you'll see in guitars where the back has like a middle section, I believe, and that part is like a second piece of the guitar, and some people say that that'll bother the sustain or not. Is this, can you pull the neck off of these? Someone timestamp me 8 minutes and 52 seconds-ish. And let me know if that's one of the ones that the neck comes right off, because the aluminum neck is really interesting. I thought when she was talking about how it's a solid body that the neck is the same piece of wood as the body, but I don't think that's the case because it's aluminum. Interesting.
Okay, now we talk pickups. Both of my guitars have exclusive, Rick Toon designed pickups, and they are absolutely amazing. So you can only find them Now, one of the things that made me
You could probably only find them like with the electronics company that manufactures these guitars for, was it Rick Tune, right? So he might even go as far as to pick the copper wiring or how it's wired or the different transistors and stuff for the guitar. Like he might audition different ones for each guitar and see which one he likes best. Some of these guitar players, and I use this phrase lightly, some of these guitar players are nuts, man. They're like, they're so detail oriented and they just know exactly what they want and they'll do anything it takes to get it. Like I'm talking, some artists, they audition audio hard drives to see what they sound like. Like it goes on and on and on forever.
absolutely fall in love with
Sound cards, not audio hard drives, sound cards.
guitars, which, as if you haven't noticed by now, I do. I absolutely love
Slanted
them.
frets, right?
Is that they have a lot of versatility in tone and how you can use them. You know, each, click of a knob changes drastically in the sound that you want to. Okay, and check this out. I was absolutely blown away by this when I first played this guitar. It's so crazy. Okay, so I have 3 settings here. And then my dad said, like, no, it has 6 settings. And I'm like, what? No, it doesn't. But look at this. Look at this.
Wow. Cool.
Oh my God. Yes, you have 6 settings and you can go from single coil, which is this one, to humbucker. And that's just...
So the humbucker is the 2. Single coil is just a single. So it's like my telly's not plugged in. I'm so sorry, guys. I keep looking for my instruments and stuff. So it's like more like, I'm going to over romanticize this a little bit. Imagine like a country guitar, like a twangy kind of finger picking where it's like really percussive, but a little brighter, not as much low end. You'd get that out of like a single coil. A humbucker, imagine like AC/DC, like Les Pauls, anything with Les Paul on it, Led Zeppelin, a lot of the Warning stuff, I'm sure, right? Different applications for each. Like I say, the finger picking, solos maybe, anything that you don't need like all that low muddy stuff. Like when you're chugging and you're doing all the chords or like the big riffs and stuff, you want all that like low weight and everything. So that's why me personally, I don't play my telly for like hard rock stuff. I play my SG for that. The telly just has single coils in it. It's just like a little, like for finger picking or clean stuff or maybe less high gain stuff, it's cool. It's just like a different feel, but like the humbucker is just, it's big weight, big, like lots of chuggy stuff, right? It's riffy, it's cool like that.
Oh, that's mind-blowing. Oh, but we're not done. Wait a second. This guitar is even crazier because you can actually take it apart. Right here.
Oh, cool. Okay.
You can take the neck apart from the body, and I can literally take my guitar in a bag. That makes it so cool for airports and stuff because, there's always the fear that something's going to happen to it at the airport. So I can actually take... That's just...
really cool.
That's awesome.
Really cool.
With me on the plane and put it back together and not worry about it getting decalibrated or out of tune because it's an aluminum neck. It won't move. So yeah.
So my wood guitar neck, technically I could unbolt it. I could technically unbolt it. See, it's like the maple. The maple has this part where it connects to the body, right? So it's 2 parts. I could technically undo it, but this is a wood neck, man. It's under a lot of tension with these strings, right? You take that off, and it's going to move. So there's a big bolt. There's a truss rod that runs through here so that I can adjust this back and forward depending on humidity, temperature, like everything, right? If I'm bending it too much, stuff like that, right? I got heavy hands. So, but if it's an aluminum neck, it technically wouldn't go out of tune. The tension wouldn't change. You would take it off, you'd put it back on. It'd be in theory the exact same, right? How interesting. How interesting.
Needless to say, I love my guitars.
I bet.
They're the best. Happy Dani Day! Okay.
New York XL is cool.
Strings. I use the DIYOJ strings. This.
Cool.
Model NYXL. And this size. 1046. Oh my God.
So, okay. So there's a lot of reasons why we started playing these, and I've got packs and packs of what we used to play. So when we used to travel, we would bring these for electrics, and then we would also bring these for electrics, and they're very similar. They're 10s and 11s. So what we would do is we would take, and I can't remember the order of them, These might be the changed ones. Light top, heavy bottom, and mediums. Yeah, so we would take the mediums and we would substitute the high strings for heavier gauges. So like you might have, this is 11 to 48. So sorry, if it was like 10 to 48, you'd change it to 11/48. But maybe the 48 isn't heavy enough. Maybe you want a 52 on the low string because we're playing in low C or something like that. So now you're substituting the top three. Like we were doing a bunch of that until the New York strings came out and they started doing packs that kind of felt a little bit more rock and roll, if that makes sense. So the high strings were a little bit thicker. You weren't buying 8s and 9s anymore. For the high E string, you were buying 10s or 11s. So that when you play like a really high note, it's not really thin and like brittle sounding. It like had a bunch of punch to it because like you're pressing against a hard string under a bunch of tension, like a thicker string. And then the low stuff or the chuggy stuff, you could get, there was different packs, but the ones we would get were the heavy ones because we're playing in like open C or drop C or C sharp or whatever, right? Stuff like that. So the New York strings were cool for rock and roll because like I say, you got, for all your low riff stuff, it was nice and weighty. For all your high stuff, it was punchy. It was weightier, it was thicker strings too. And then you didn't have to like have as many pedals just to balance the guitar. You just kind of play, especially in rock and roll, right? So it was cool to see that D'Addario started doing that.
Strings. I really, really love them. They are very, how can I say this? Strong strings. Yes. And they last for a long while. And if these last a long while, okay, so these are the same strings. They are just the extended life edition. So these are gonna last even more. I haven't tried these yet. These are my next experiment. So I'm very, very excited to try them out and see what happens. They're the same size. But yeah.
Cool. They're probably coated. So a lot of people like coated strings. They say that they claim that they last longer, especially in acoustic guitars. Some people say you lose the high end in them. Lots of rock people, especially in like muddy rock or like doom rock, like they don't notice. So kind of up in the air. I haven't tried those ones, and I know this video's a little older too, but I haven't tried those ones. I could get a pair.
Cool.
Or a set. What's that? Oh, her in-ear is cool.
Presenting my in-ear monitors. Look at them. They're so
cool.
Amazing. I absolutely love them. I asked for the little, the warning lightning bolt. They're awesome. Okay, and look. It even says my name and everything. This is the model of the monitors that I use, and they're awesome. I'm in love. Look. It fits my ear perfectly. Awesome. And
so that's custom molded. So you would go to like I can't remember what the ear person is, the ear doctor, and get your ear molded, and you would send the mold in to the company and they would send you back headphones, right?
What's great about these specific monitors is that this little valve right here releases the pressure going inside my ear and actually lets me hear better what's going outside without compromising the sound that's actually coming in my in-ear. So this is absolutely amazing. Okay, this helps me to hear, the crowd in a live show without, losing focus on the things that I'm hearing inside.
Interesting. So it's just trying to make it more organic. Interesting. Because one of the problems with in-ears, and when like I first started getting into in-ears, was early in the endeavors, like the affordable stuff for you and me wasn't great, right? It had limitations, we'll say. So one of them was that you would have both in and you would get these pressure headaches, and then people would take one out, and then now you're having an imbalance in how your ears would break down over time. So it's cool that they have a release. Like I moved, these are semi-open backs, which like you're not really supposed to use for recording, but I get pressure headaches from using closed backs or my in-ears, and my in-ears were expensive, man. I got a really good deal on them, but they're retail like $800 for 5 drivers, not custom molded, and they give me pressure headaches. So that's really cool.
Now, you may be asking yourselves, Danny, what do you actually listen through your in-ear monitors on a live show?
Interesting.
Okay, so Pao sends a lot of stuff through the computer, as she, said last weekend. And she normally sends me the click track so I can be, paired up with the rest of the elements inside the song. And I normally want to hear a lot of my voice My guitar, of course. I asked for Alice bass, my sister's voices. I'm the one who has the most elements in my in-ear
I was like that
monitor
too.
because I really want to hear everything that's going on.
I want to show, man. I want to experience. I want to be a part of the, like, you know, I'm when I was performing, bro, like, I wanted y'all to be a part of the immersive thing, but I wanted to be a part of it too. I didn't want to be on the outside looking in. Like, come on now.
And I also asked for the kick drum.
Yeah.
Occasionally. It depends on the venue, but yeah.
So, like, the crazy thing about having kick drum, I think that was the end of the video. A lot of people are afraid to have drum kits in their monitors, and you don't see a lot of that in floor monitors, because like when you're an up and coming band, like what do you got? You got some like rentals, some 10-inch monitors, like speakers in front of you with like a 1/2-inch horn. Like nobody's gonna send kick drum to that. It's gonna blow it up, right? And then you start getting into the world of, well, maybe we'll use our headphones and we'll run them into a board so we can hear the click track and stuff. You know, like when we're trying really hard at home, we're making like the big strides. And now you get to like where the kick drum is just, it's too much. The speaker's limiting, it's distorting, stuff like that. But when you have these like 5 drivers or 5 drivers, 3 drivers, whatever, the custom molded in-ears, some of the nicer in-ears and stuff like that, some of the fancier headphones, these are only $30 headphones, but they sound great for listening to music. Now you can start to hear these things, and you don't realize how separated you are from them when you've got plugs in your ears, right? Like I had these headphones on, which are semi-open back, and I'm still yelling at this microphone, right? Like it's not a common thing. So one of the separations we already talked about was the crowd, being separated from the crowd. That's weird. So now you have microphones, condenser microphones pointed at the crowd, so you have some bleed, some room noise. Doesn't sound like a perfect studio in your head, because that's weird. You can have things like kick drum. I like snare drum too, just because I like doing goofy things with my drummer. Like I would like clap, clap, along with his like snare drums and stuff. I would try to land a lot of words with the snare drum, or he would give a lot of cues with it because we didn't have a metronome. We were too lazy. So yeah, like the kick drum thing isn't, when you're young it doesn't seem super popular, but like once you start moving into these things, it's like it makes a lot of sense, especially like, you know, when you have like a driving energy band like the Morning, right? I think that makes a lot of sense. There's a bunch of these, man. I hope we can go through some more. I would love to. Maybe one day we can find a way to hear what the actual in-ear mix sounds like. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. Okay, but let me know. We went through a lot of stuff. If y'all want to hear some pickups, I can play some guitar. If y'all just want me to move on to the next playlist, then let me know. Drop your comments down below, my friends. See you again soon.